Good news, everyone! There has been some new details released on Starfield in the Q&A on August 16th. They answered 16 questions about Starfield, but in a Discord response format, so it was interesting but limited in info on what was given. They talked about housing, companions, mechs, factions, and plenty more. This game is something I have been waiting anxiously for, and I will be making more videos on the game over the coming weeks and after release, so if you enjoy the video, then please give it a like to help the algorithm, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for future Starfield updates, streams, and lots more. A big thing I have enjoyed in Bethesda games is having a home, or more so a place to leave all my collected junk. The question about housing was brought up, and it was confirmed that you will be able to purchase housing or even acquire some through quests or other means in all the major cities. This has been seen in the Fallout and Elder Scrolls games with many upgrades or customization options for homes, so I feel we should suspect some of the same systems to possibly be in Starfield. Another thing that has been in past games was having your parents or child take on your traits, or more specifically your looks. If you were to take the kid stuff trait, you would have some in-game parents that you can visit, converse with, and apparently get stuff from. And as far as they explain, there is some new face tech that will make them change based off of how you make your character look. So expect plenty of playthroughs to have different parents in each. A question that didn't particularly shed much new light on things was in relation to your character's backstory. We saw in the Starfield Direct that there was going to be some deep character customization and background selection, as well as traits and much more to really build your character into something unique. But it was still nice to be reminded that when you play a Bethesda RPG, as Todd Howard calls it, you be what you want, the simulation is there for you to experience it. One of the things I found interesting as it will pertain to the pirate character I plan to be is that smuggling illicit goods will be a viable and possible option in the game. You will be able to sell contraband, and will have to get past security ships in orbit of major settlements. They stated there will be ship modules that will help to hide these items, and they also mentioned with this that the economy is fixed, but you will be able to help change those prices due to choosing specific skills. So generally the price of space food will be the same everywhere. While speaking of smuggling, there will be a jail system inside of Starfield similar to that of Oblivion and Skyrim. They stated that it will apparently be a system where you pay a fine, pay your time, or resist arrest and shed some blood like a true axe-murdering pirate. This should give you a little bit of extra risk when dealing on the unlawful side of things. In Starfield, the game is a full simulation, so when you're in it, things are constantly running in the background like your outposts. In the Q&A, they stated that this will not keep running when your game is not open, so pretty much if you were hoping for some offline resources to be gained, then you are out of luck. As with most Bethesda RPGs, you have many factions with many ideals and motives, and that goes for Starfield as well. In the Q&A, they talked about being a double agent, and they did confirm that you can do all the playable factions independently, and there will even be a storyline around this where you will have to choose between betraying the Crimson Fleet or UC SysDef, or United Cities System Defense. Along with this, they talked about the religions you can join, which are Sanctum Universum, Enlightened, or Great Serpent. Sanctum Universum call their members Universals, and believe that God exists in the universe and that a higher power is guiding each and every one of us. More specifically, that humanity's technological advancement of grav jumping is God's way of saying, "Come find me." The Enlightened are an organized atheist group who don't particularly believe in any higher power. They believe in teaching humans to be better to each other and that they must take care of each other. This is further shown through their many community outreach programs. The last group they talked about was Great Serpent, which is pretty much what it sounds like. They took the tunnel snakes and brought them to space, but in a religious format. So actually what is known to your character is apparently a colony ship set off for a new world, and after one of the grav jumps, one of the passengers claims to have spent that time communing with a celestial entity known as the Great Serpent. With this, he brought back a mandate: get on board or be devoured when the Great Serpent encircles the universe. With Bethesda RPGs, you gotta give it to them. They make quite the interesting kooky religious groups. Bethesda is also great about making it so you can talk your way out of many situations, even to the point of almost being a pacifist. And this once again returns. They were asked about doing a pacifist playthrough, seeing as there are so many options for your character creation, and they mentioned that although not every mission can be completed in pacifist mode, there will still be speech systems to talk your way out of a fight, as well as non-lethal weapons, so don't expect to go without any bloodshed. There's multiple questions about companions, with plenty of good information gained from them. As many of you may know, the Adoring Fan is returning, and with them so are over 20 named companions. 4 of them are from Constellation and have the most player interactions available, but there are many others from different factions. They can once again join you in your adventures and carry all your junk like in past Bethesda RPGs. Companions do have skills, but they do not level up. They will have an initial set of perks, and those will also stack with yours, and they can be many different types like combat or ship related ones like boosting shields or grav jump range, or having specific weapon proficiencies. These will also be useful when assigned to outposts, which will not require a regular salary, which was confirmed in the Q&A. They will instead have a one-time payment which can be negotiated, and they mainly did this to lower the amount of things you had to worry about keeping track of while playing. This should make getting companions much simpler and less of an upkeep, so you have less distractions while exploring. There was some great influences for the quests and universe of Starfield mentioned as well. The devs said they took inspiration from history and humans' actual reactions to war and famine and the general human experience, as well as sci-fi references like Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Interstellar, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and mainly had the mentality of space being a place of mystery, wonder, and terror, as well as a blank page to start anew on the frontier. They also got asked what small details in Starfield are their favorite, and they stated, like before in the Starfield Direct, that it has a NASA punk feel, and that it is very lived in. As with other Bethesda titles, there are books, notes, items, and just so many little things to bring the experience all together. Along with this, you get all the outfits, different foods, weapons, ship configurations, and so much more that makes it feel like every interaction is different. Along with this, your companions will even have patches notating what skills they have. It's all very interesting and very in-depth when it comes to them making a full simulated world, and that's what's great about Bethesda. The final thing they talked about, which was one I was really wondering about, was the mechs. You know, the combat mechs they used in the Colony War, which you got a look of in the trailer as well as in one of the animated stories they released. The mechs were used by both the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective, but the United Colonies were more focused on Xenowarfare, which is probably related to this weird creature from one of the gameplay trailers that's also on some noteboard as well. It looks super freaky and definitely not natural. Both mechs and the Xenos were outlawed, but obviously some are still floating around. They did say you will not be able to use them, but you may find an old mech battleground somewhere. I hope all this information has you just as excited as I am. If you want to see more videos on Starfield, then subscribe to the channel and check out my other socials in the description below. I will be doing a 24-hour plus stream on the release of Starfield in 1440p right here on YouTube if you want to see the game played. I will be doing an axe-handling pirate build, so come see me slice and dice. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time, Spacefarers.